Hello and welcome to session 1 of 2 for a Hearts of Wulin two-part Wedding of Thunder and Silence. This session is part of the Gauntlet Gaming Community, which is an online club that you can find out more about at gauntlet-rpg.com. Hearts of Wulin is a Powered by the Apocalypse game of wuxia melodrama. It takes a lot of inspiration from various films and TV series to do this, and I'm going to talk about what that means in the case of this game. I designed the mechanics, and I co-wrote the rules for it. So we're going to be playing. You may hear us referring to our character keeper. We have a Google spreadsheet that we use for that. So we have a number of tools that we use here at the Gauntlet for getting everyone calibrated, especially if we have players that we haven't played with before. And so you're going to hear me talk for way longer than I ought to here at the start. And I should mention, my name is Lowell, pronouns he, him. So just be aware of that. We'll get when we get to the character stuff, we'll get players to introduce themselves and their pronouns and their characters and their pronouns. So I'm going to walk through the setup. So the concept of this is you're playing martial heroes like you might have seen in Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, or TV sort of long form dramas like The Untamed or Handsome Siblings. Those are on Netflix. There are other ones like that. This is a fantastic version of classical China. This is drawn from particular sources. There's a whole tradition of wuxia novels in China, specifically in the 50s and 60s. Gulong and Jin Yong wrote serialized novels that became super famous, and a number of other authors joined in, and those were eventually serialized in many times into different TV shows. And that's where I kind of came in, was watching those TV series and really loving those. That is what this game is drawn on. But you're playing wuxia. You are potent heroes that exist outside of the sort of normal world of society, outside of the common folk, outside of imperial authority. It's a world of factions and orders who compete and scheme, but wuxia are generally heroes. They're generally, Sha has kind of been translated as knights in the past. It's stories of these heroes. Your characters have extraordinary athletic and fighting skills, but you are still bound by your heart. You're going to find yourself in conflict with your loves, your duties, and your emotions. These are characters that can't really speak directly about what they feel. They talk obliquely, they talk at an angle about how they're actually feeling. For today's session, talk about the sort of the approach, our aim. We begin with the character creation. You're going to choose a playbook from the 6 that we have. That is your character archetype, and you'll choose a role from among those that kind of more defines what your character is about. You'll make some choices in terms of moves and things like that. I've got a walkthrough for those choices. Once we get done with that, we will have introductions of the characters, and then you're going to build entanglements. Each of you is going to have 2 entanglements. An entanglement is your relationship that you have with someone that is complicated by another person. So kind of love triangles, but a broader sense of that. You will have 1 romantic entanglement, and you'll have 1 general entanglement that you're going to come up with. Our premise for this is that all of you do know each other and at least have some general good feeling towards one another, depending on how the entanglements go. And there is a wedding that is joining 2 major factions, and for various reasons, we'll find out what those reasons are, you 4 are traveling to attend this wedding. But of course, there's going to be melodrama and complications and all of that. We will get that played out. We'll see how our entanglements work within that context. In terms of tone for the game, this game is melodramatic. As I said, in these stories, emotions, reactions, passions, all of those are heightened Our characters have to maintain their facade. They have to keep their face against the trials of the world. So generally we try to play things straight, serious, but not grim. There's room for comedy and humor, but the tone may whiplash that at one point you're joking and laughing, and the next scene you're cradling your dead lover in your arms. It's not always about heartbreak, but it is about those kind of tensions and romance and soap opera. I have to be absolutely frank about that goes along with that. The subject matter we're going to be covering, this is stories that are going to involve combat to settle issues large and small. You're going to be working to deal with your own entanglements, but possibly also the issues of your family and factions and so on. Generally, these stories will revolve around stories of love, emotion, and heartbreak. There will be fighting, there will be combat. You're all awesome at that. And the combat system is very much about scale. You are either above someone in combat scale, in which case you're almost always going to win. You're below someone in scale. Someone is more powerful than you. Then if you take them on one-on-one, you're going to lose. Or you're on the same scale with them. And that's the role where we're really like asking, who is going to win this fight? Now, with those things in mind, I want to point out that we use a layered set of safety tools for play. This is the tools that we use across the gauntlet. At the baseline, we use lines and veils, and that's on the tab in the character keeper there. I know some people have already gotten on there and marked those. A line is a hard line of anything that we don't want to have in the session, in the game. A veil is anything that you're okay with it appearing in the game, but we want to fade to black, or it happens off screen. And then ask first means it might appear in the game, but you would like us to check in before that happens. So throughout character creation, feel free to go back and look at this and add anything that you want to this list. Before we go to introductions, I'll go through the tools and say what we've made those choices on. The second tool that we have is we are using the X card. Basically, the X card is done by saying X card or doing a gesture to mark out. It's easier to do that than it is to put it in the chat, because I'll often miss it in the chat for the Zoom call. For X card is if you hit any material that you find problematic, that you find objectionable, you find particular language being used off-putting, you find that something is wildly off tone from what you expected. These are all reasons to do that. Another reason you might X card is maybe we're playing along and we've started to head towards something that we've got marked as a line or a veil, and we haven't yet noticed it. The X card is a good time to do that. You never have to explain or defend your choices for X card. The only thing I might ask is, like, how far back do we need to cut? Basically to see how we need to rearrange things to go forward. The last thing that we have as a tool that we use, as a resource that we use, is the open door policy, which means that if you have to step away for whatever reason, somebody's at the door, you're not feeling well, you're not handling the game, not enjoying what's happening, these are all legit reasons to open door and step away. It'd be nice if you can mention in the chat that you'll be back or not be back. That's in there, but you're not stuck here. The additional thing to that is, let's say we get to the end of the session and you go, this is not the game I thought it was. This is not a game that I actually want to play. It is super legit to open door, say, hey, I'm not coming back for the second session. You should never feel obliged to play in a game that you're not enjoying. So don't feel locked down. Those are the tools that we have at hand. Now, we're going to go to the character keeper. I want to point out that we have a tab in the character keeper that has the space for our characters. You'll each choose one of those columns for that. I think everybody has done that. The tab that says character creation actually walks through the steps of the choices that you're going to be making here. Essentially coming up with your look, your name, coming up with your fighting style, choosing your element, and then choosing the moves from your playbooks. So we have 6 playbooks. These are general archetypes. And what I'd like to do is see if people have a sense of maybe what playbook they'd like to play and what role they're interested in. Usually it's better if everybody takes a different playbook, but it is possible for 2 people to have the same playbook as long as you agree about taking different roles and maybe taking different moves. Let's start with the screen name is Sophie, but it is, you're muted. But it is Nicholas,
yeah,
right?
It's Nicholas.
Okay. Nicholas, have you had a chance to look through? Do you have a sense of maybe what playbook you're interested in or playbooks?
Yeah, I've got 3 choices.
Okay.
My first choice would be the Aware.
Okay.
I also like, well, these characters are easier for me, that is. Then
Okay.
I also like the Unorthodox.
Okay.
And I think the Loyal would be a good fit for the session.
Excellent. So we've got 3
open.
on table. Let's go around. We'll see if anybody else has strong opinions, strong choices. And on this, so is it Matthias?
You can just call me Matt.
Okay,
that's easier.
All right, Matt. So have you looked? Do you have a sense of maybe what you would like to play?
Yeah, I just want to play a melancholy, calm, wise character. The most sympathetic choice is Aware, but I can play any of them if someone wants to be Aware.
But that's sort of your first pick right now?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let me write that down as that, and let me come around and check. Nicholas offered a couple of other choices, so that's cool. Puckett, have you thought about what you want?
Considering how many times I've played Hearts of Wulin, I'm totally fine with picking last.
Okay, that is fine. Michael, what are you thinking?
So I'm thinking the outsider.
Okay.
But I've also spotted the villain on there, but I'm not sure if that's actually on the table because you mentioned just 6.
Oh, that's right. I forgot I put that in there. You have played before, so if you wish to play the villain, you may do that.
I'm tempted, and I'd like to if that's all right with the table.
So basically, the villain is a character archetype who is misunderstood. They are seen as a villain. They're not actually awful. So do you have a sense of what you might want to take as your role from the villain?
Accused.
Okay.
Seems interesting.
All right. So let me swing back to Nicholas. Would you be good with either the Unorthodox or the Loyal? You are muted.
Excuse me.
That's okay. Yeah.
The Unorthodox, yes, interest me.
Okay. Which one are you thinking?
I'm not thinking any in particular because
Okay.
I first wanted to see where we went.
Okay. Of the Unorthodox, I will say I'd recommend the Hidden or the Prodigy. The Accidental gets a little complicated given the setup that we have, but so I've kind of highlighted that. So put that there.
I want to be the Hidden.
Okay. So Unorthodox, Hidden. Matt, with the Aware, which role do you think you want to take? Master. Okay, there you go. So Aware, Master. Puckett, we have cut down to 3 choices for you. What do you want to play?
I might as well just go with the Bravo as the Gallivant.
Okay.
I mean, who better to have at her wedding, right?
Absolutely. So I'm going to let you get to working on the character creation. you go through the steps that are listed on the character creation tab, get up to making those choices about your playbook moves. Then we'll come around and do the introductions before we go to entanglements. Yes, Sophie. Nicholas, sorry.
Excuse me, I didn't get Paquette's choice of playbook.
Oh, he's doing the Bravo Gallivant.
Thank you.
All right, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to sit here uncomfortably for a while. If you have questions, go ahead and say. I am going to pause the recording at this point. All right, so Michael, I am going to start with you and we'll work our way to the left. Tell us about your character. Introduce yourself, your pronouns, and then your character's name and their pronouns.
Yes, cool. So I'm Michael, I'm from Germany, and I use he, him pronouns or they, them. And I'm playing the villain playbook. And the character name is Stunning Thunder with he, him pronouns. And I've put a picture in the character keeper. If you scroll down, or I think it's at the beginning as well. So you can see there's someone rather elegant with flowing silks, who's maybe a bit cunning, and who enjoys the better things in life, let's say. And as I said during character creation, I haven't really thought about the backstory. But I can introduce my playbook move. Maybe that helps.
But we know you've been falsely or been at least accused of some kind of crime that we don't know about. So tell us what the playbook moves are that you have.
So the accused says, you have been falsely labeled a villain. So a villain you have become. When you trade, sorry?
So, no, great. Sorry.
When you trade on your sinister reputation, take +1 forward to hearts and minds. As a cost for moves, for example, duel, overcome in a conflict, you may choose prove them right. When you do so, you create fear and doubt in someone you care about.
Nice. And then what have you chosen? You've chosen, I think, both of your playbook moves. What are they? Give us the brief pitch on each of those.
So let me see. I've taken Lover's Arrow because I thought that might be fun for something related to a wedding. So basically,
you get to change messages for people is the basics of that, right?
Yeah. So if someone sends a love letter or an oblique poem of admiration, I can change the content or who is the recipient, who gets the message. I think that's basically what's happening here. And apart from that, in addition, I've taken Crimson Charm. And that's basically, I'm hard on the outside, but my friends, they can tell, even though if I'm rude or taunting them or shutting them down, it's just to protect myself. But obviously, sometimes this can go too far, and then they might, avoid me for a bit.
I like that. And tell us about your combat style. What is the weapon you use, and which element is that associated with?
Yes, so my combat style is striking Viper style, and I've picked a Meteor Hammer.
Oh, big weapon.
Yeah, so it's basically a rope and 2 weights, I imagine it, and I'm striking really fast and fierceful with it, so fire is the element assigned to it.
Are you imagining that your character was part of a Wulin house or family and then kind of fell out of favor? Or is this someone who maybe trained on their own? What are you imagining for who they are?
Yeah, I think actually I like being part of a bigger organization, of a clan or whatever,
Okay.
and fallen out of grace. They needed a scapegoat, obviously.
Okay.
And I've been accused. Yeah, maybe there was something, a tragic accident or something that did reflect bad on that organization, and so I was blamed in public.
Perfect. I think that sounds good. We've got a sense of your weapon. We've got your playbooks there. What I'm going to do is go around to everybody else, get the same sort of questions from them. Then when we swing back, we're going to look at those entanglements. For everybody, there is a tab for entanglements. You'll pick a romantic entanglement and a general one. I've got some examples based on the playbooks. The only thing is I don't have some examples for the villain. So you'll have to go to the sort of big list that's down below of entanglements there. But we'll come back on that once we've got everybody else's characters, the basics on them. Let's next come to Matt. Matt, tell us about your character.
Hey, my name is Mátyás from Hungary. You can call me Matt. My personal pronouns in Hungary is ő, but I also understand he and him.
Okay.
And I will play a guy, master. He's called Wu Wei Wang. As a Chinese, he uses the personal pronoun ta or he, him. And I imagine him as a bulky, but sort of soft guy. Very calm, peaceful, with a serene face. And his style is called effortless spring tide.
Oh, nice.
Or something like that. He uses spears and halberds, so huge but kind of soft weapons. I imagine it as a soft style. And so maybe someone, Nicholas mentioned that I'm a master or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine that he renounced worldly powers and authorities at some point in his life, and now he's just traveling the countryside and living the ways of the Tao. So he's sort of like a reclusive or a hermit, a wandering, traveling hermit. Yeah.
Do you imagine that was he with an order or a temple before wandering?
Possibly,
or...
yeah. Possibly when he was younger, he was at the top of a clan or something, a school, something like that. Yeah.
But something happened to make him decide not to pursue that.
I imagine that he chose to abandon that place for some reason.
And a little bit older, not in his teens or 20s, but a little bit older.
I imagine that he's in his early 50s or late 40s, but looks young and quite strong. So.
And so you get the master roll move, which allows you to stop conflicts. What were the other playbook moves that you chose?
Ashes of Time. So when I mark an element as a result of an inner conflict, I can create a bond with someone as I reflect on the lesson that they taught me.
Nice.
So some reflection. And Storm Rider, that's more like a combat move. Once per scene, I can travel to anywhere within line of sight. So I just appear there.
That is very nice. You got a great picture there for
it's
your
Korean,
character.
but still, yeah.
Oh no, it's a great picture though. And we got that for that. All right.
Just one thing. I forgot to mention that I think the first impression about him is that he's a bandit or something like that.
Okay.
But the way he behaves, his gestures are totally the opposite. So friendly, calm. Yes, the friendly.
Excellent. I think that gives us a nice contrast
Yeah.
between appearance and so on. We'll come back to you to talk about those entanglements. There are some example ones for the aware, but you may want to choose different ones. Next, that brings us to Puckett.
All right, I'll be playing Zhang Li, who is the Gallivant. If you've ever been drinking in a bar with me, you probably noticed that about the time it comes to pay the tab that I'm nowhere to be found. And in fact, I'm usually halfway down the road to the next city. And although I don't mean to, it just always somehow seems to happen that somebody else gets stuck with the tab, or that they show up someplace and there's already a tab open in their name. Michael, this might be why your character has been accused of being a villain. But I don't mean any harm by it. It's just, there's always a better party someplace else, right? There's always more fun to be had in another inn, in another town, with someone else. So I'm always looking to find it and trying to avoid the things that I've left behind. Consequences of my actions, people who are angry with me, maybe even some heartbreak. So my style element is wood.
Mm-hmm.
My style is the bamboo forest dance. Basically, if it's bamboo, I can do something with it. I may splinter a bamboo stick and throw darts at someone. I may break a stick in half and use a stick in each hand, like a piece of bamboo in each hand, to defend myself. I may just break off a piece of a bamboo branch and use it as a long staff. But it's always flexible. It's non-lethal, because killing people isn't fun. I mean, there's so many, it just, it's messy, and then you have people chasing you. I've seen what it's done to others, and I don't want to have anything to do with that. My role move is basically being able to travel from place to place, celebrating gambling, and I can always skip out on something, and I can always name somebody else who would suffer, if I would suffer social, legal, or financial consequences. On a hit, they're suffering instead. On a 7 to 9, they know it was me, and on a miss, I'm in trouble. I also have mastered an art, and when I express myself via that art, I can gain hold based on how well I roll, and I can spend hold on a number of different outcomes. And because I'm fun, I often ask people to come drink with me, and whenever I do, I'm the center of their attention for as long as they're willing to tolerate it. If somebody wishes to remove themselves from the situation, they have to mark an element or cause major embarrassment.
What do you think your art is?
You know, I think because of the way that, I mean, I trained initially with swords, and then I realized I could just use bamboo instead.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's dance.
Okay.
And I think that's partly how I developed my style with bamboo.
So in terms of backstory, do you imagine that you came from a family and left that family, or you grew up on the road? Like what do you imagine the backstory for who your character is? You mentioned learning the bamboo style. Was that in addition to another style, or what do you think there?
I come from a family that's reasonably well-to-do.
Okay.
But they had expectations for how I would honor the family that did not match what I wanted for my life. And so I've been something of a vagabond for the last probably decade. Just traveling around, meeting people, having fun, and doing my best to enjoy the life that I chose for myself.
Okay. Awesome. I think that gives us a good sense of who Zhang
Zhangli, yeah.
is. We'll come back to her in a bit, and we'll check out your entanglements. That brings us to Nicholas. Nicholas, tell us about your character.
So I'm Nicholas, alias The Real. My character will have two names. The first name is the nickname he goes, no, the name he goes by, Hidden.
Okay.
That's Li Wu Fan. And the secret name of his wuxia identity is Shiny Stone. That's a he. Shiny Stone appears with rough clothes, a wild bird, because he's going incognito as the Eden. As the Eden, I've got two moves.
Okay.
The hidden move is a sort of disadvantage in a way.
Mm-hmm.
I have, no, it's an advantage. I've got +1 ongoing to hearts and minds to convince someone that I am ordinary. So I'm kind of master of disguise to pass as Li Wu Fan. I am secretly protecting someone and hiding from an enemy faction. My two moves for the hidden are shadow boxing. I've got a sect. We are a bit scattered, but some people can help if they wish, that belong to the sect. The sect is mostly commoners and lower ranking military officials. That was, for me, that's the reason I went into this sect. Well, the values were corresponding to me, but also it was a kind of promotion. It was a way of getting promotion. And I've got also the move, a taste of cold steel. I can detect if I study a place or a situation, I can detect who in this situation is looking for trouble, wanting to cause trouble, what trouble it can be.
How do you fight? Are you using a weapon, or is it unarmed? Tell us about your combat style.
I mostly hide the gentle stream, trying to pass as a soldier or maybe a woodsman, former bandit. But the gentle stream itself is a water style used with swords. It uses the supple sword, and it's a bit, the idea is a bit that of fencing, getting an angle and working an angle with mostly thrust.
So you're in hiding. Is it more that you're hiding to like eventually do something, or that you're hiding to stay away from some threat?
I was picturing that the sect in my city, in my home city, in which I had great hopes, has been scattered, weakened, and I am protecting someone from between the characters.
Okay. So somebody who's probably tied up in one of these entanglements you're connected to. That sounds great. That sounds great.
I'm offering that. And I'd like I think the person doesn't know. That's
Excellent.
interesting first.
All right. I think that gives us a good sense of who Shiny Stone is, what they're about. Let's swing back around and let's do entanglements. So the way this works is we're going to go through, we're going to start with Michael. Michael will choose whether he wants to do his romantic entanglement or his general entanglement first. We'll get that in there. There is that page of NPC and NPC names, so please feel free to work them in. In your two entanglements, at least one of them should have the name of another PC. So we'll get that worked out. So Michael, you've done this before.
Yeah.
A few times. Tell me, for your character, do you want to start with your general entanglement for Stunning Thunder or your romantic?
I'd like to start with my general one.
Okay.
So let's see. It was quite interesting to get an overview of the characters. I just want to say, I think for the story games. Oh, sorry, I'll answer later. For the overall story, I'm picturing something of there might be a region where we're in where there's a lot of water, there's rivers, sea, whatever, and there's been a ferry accident, and people have drowned, and I've been blamed for it. And ever since I've been cursed, and people fear me for that. So obviously I became a pirate, or pretended to be one.
Okay.
And so I think when we're keeping that in mind, maybe my family used to run those ferries or whatever. So there's definitely someone left. I have a positive relationship, even though they do not like me overall. So just one question for Liwu Fang, Shiny Stone. Do you think we all know that you are Shiny Stone, or is this a secret you haven't revealed to us?
I think that's a secret to the master.
Mhm.
But I see how it could really. I know you know the Gallivant could pierce this secret, I think, easily. Like meeting on the way and expose me, or maybe we can play that. I don't know. We can say it's done, or we can do it.
Yeah, we'll get that in those entanglements.
Yeah. So basically, I've chosen I love my naive sibling. Now I have to pick an NPC.
Okay.
And do you mind if it's any gender, or if there's an NPC falling for you? Any gender is all right.
Yeah.
So who looks naive? Let's go with Onyx Viper.
Okay. So Onyx Viper is your
My sibling.
Okay.
And she's a bit naive, and I fear that the admiration for Liwu Fang is dangerous.
Okay.
Because I know I can sense he's not telling everything, but I don't know what's actually going on.
Is that okay with you, Liwu? Essentially, that works. Okay. So we've got a sister who's in love, and you're worried about that relationship. That seems great. So we'll come back to get your romantic entanglement then. So next on our list is Wu Wei Wang. Which do you want to do, your romantic or your general?
I think the romantic is more difficult, so let's start with that.
Okay.
The most sympathetic choice is that I love someone, maybe a PC, who I overlooked for too long. Now they love someone else, and I don't want to put anyone into a box. So is there anyone who is interested in that?
I'll volunteer.
Okay, that means that I guess that means that we know each other for long.
Mm-hmm.
I think so. You may even have known me back when I was still trying to honor my parents in the way that they wanted.
Okay. So I love Chang Li.
Zhang Li. Okay. But now they're in love with Zhang Li. Do you want to pick an NPC from the NPC tab and tell
Dawning
us?
Joy.
Dawning Joy.
Oh
Okay.
yeah. Okay.
Perfect. That's great. Always get the most complicated ones in there right away. I love it.
Yeah. Or movie won't show in People Republic of China, only in Taiwan.
Yeah. Let's come to Zhang Li. What do you want to do first, your romantic or your general?
Oh, romantic.
Okay.
So I fled from Dawning Joy because of the heartache. We were at one time, I don't know that betrothed is necessarily the right word, but we were certainly deeply in love.
Mm-hmm.
This is probably after Wu Wei and I knew each other. Maybe this is even the thing that helped Wu Wei realize that they were in love with me. But, and here's where it gets kind of hinky for me, because I don't know, I'd like to have a PC as the second part of this, but that means a PC would have to be like a secret lover of theirs, which would kind of like be, well, kind of, it would disrupt the wedding plans, would it not?
It would create a certain amount of tension. You're welcome to do that, or to choose another NPC. You only have to have a PC in one of the two entanglements.
Does anybody want to volunteer to be Dawning Joy's lover despite their impending marriage? Ooh, is this maybe part of why Stunning Thunder's considered a villain?
I think that might work. So can you just repeat it, please? What are you having in mind?
So I fled from Dawning Joy because of the heartache, perhaps the announcement of their wedding, but their lover, blank, has called me back to honor a debt.
Oh. Yeah, I like it.
All right.
Okay. And I think at the start, like it's been communicated that there's a debt, but Zhang Li, we don't know what that debt is yet. We'll find out what that is in play.
I would like to suggest that it's something more than like me skipping out on a tab at an inn.
I think that makes sense. That brings us to Shiny Stone. Shiny Stone, would you like to do your romantic or your general first?
Since the beginning, I've got this general entanglement in mind, so I think I'll go for it.
Okay.
And it's not in the suggested
Sure.
entanglements. The idea is maybe the bride is of has a powerful role and status in the faction that weakened the my home city sect. What is the name of the bride again?
Dawning Joy.
Daunting Joy. Okay. I don't want to be near her in any fashion, and yet the master that I am Wu Wei Wang, that I'm trying to contact and to interest in the future of our sect is going to the wedding. So I've got to get there certainly among enemies.
And certainly there's some strong connection there, though you're not sure what it is. Okay, I like that. Does that work for you, Wu Wei Wang?
Okay.
Okay. All right. Let's come back again. Michael, we've got your general, right? So what do you want to do for your romantic?
Okay. So we've established that I am the lover of a Dawning Joy. So I wonder if I should put someone else there in the mix, or if it makes it too complicated.
Do you actually love Dawning Joy, or is there someone else, or does someone know about your affair and threatens it?
Well, obviously, I'm there to stop the wedding, so
Mhm.
I think I'm actually in love with her. So
you love Dawning Joy, but who is it? I mean, do we have a good NPC who wants to get in the middle of that for some reason?
will it be a PC, right?
Well, you have a PC in the first one, so you can have a PC or an NPC.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, let's do an NPC then to have someone enter working against me. What about Perfect Cloud?
Perfect Cloud. So they know about this and they're determined to reveal it or get you in trouble or put a stop to it in some way, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Perfect.
Excellent.
Thanks.
Matt, we've got your romantic. What do you want for your general?
I would like to have that I suspect someone knows of my friendship with the wanted thief. Someone. Is it okay if Onyx Viper is also a thief? Maybe a well-known thief, or maybe a thief in disguise.
Okay.
Sure. Is that okay for you?
So you suspect who is it that knows of your friendship with?
I have no idea, but someone quite powerful.
Could be the bride, groom, or
maybe a PC, or maybe
sure.
Some parent involved, or a honored elder. So I want someone who has authority.
Anyone in the first row of the NPCs would be good, or a PC?
Well,
I think.
Just a second. Who is standing? I'm not good with names.
Okay.
Who is standing thunder?
That is our villain.
Oh, great. Okay, that's okay. Nice. Okay, Stunning Thunder. That's great.
So you know Stunning Thunder, despite him being kind
I
of
suspect
that
Stunning. Yeah.
And you suspect that he knows of your friendship with this secret thief. You probably know that they're a thief. Maybe their brother doesn't even know that they're a thief. Let's bring us around then to our general entanglement for you, Bucket.
All right. I've got a suggestion out of the gate for this one, if folks are okay with it. Despite asking them not to, I think perhaps Li Wufang has begun to ask Wu Wei Wang about my past, and I fear what they will learn.
Sorry again. I've lost. Sorry.
Okay, so I think that Li Wu has begun asking you, because we go back so far, about my past.
Mm-hmm.
And if you tell them anything, I'm worried they're going to learn something that they could use to somehow mess up my life in some way.
Okay. Fine.
Are you okay with that, Daryl?
Perfectly.
Okay.
The plot thickens.
Yes.
It always does.
Excellent. And then last but not least, we come to Shiny Stone. What do you want for your romantic?
I've already got a little sister thief wooing for me, I think. That's cool. And then I need to direct my love somewhere else. I thought, and it's very hard. I want to say we are making a lot of entanglements, and it would be easier for me to tie it to someone already on the board, like Stunning Thunder or Changli. Changli is my master's desire, heart's desire, right?
Sounds close.
Yeah, that's very bad for me. So I think I'll fall in love with Zhang Li. And what I was asking is not about her past, but it's a romantic interest. If it's okay with you, Zhang Li, because of course, Perket, I'm very uncomfortable with a romantic relation between players. That's not what I'm talking about, but this one seems really promising in terms of complexity.
Absolutely. Go for it.
Okay. I think it gives us a complicated set of relationships. People have connections and feelings about other people, but maybe the others don't understand exactly why they do. I think that's perfect. So that gives us our entanglements. We're going to learn more about what those are like in play. We're going to take our first break here. I take 10 minutes for our first break. We'll do that, and then we will come back and we will get to playing. So go ahead and take 10. So this island, the wedding is happening at, whose faction controls it? A third party, Dawning Joy's Invincible Sun faction, or Righteous Jade's faction?
I'd say it's Righteous Jade's clan who's controlling that island.
All right. Wu Wei, what is the name of Righteous Jade's faction, of his clan?
I'm totally confused. Sorry. Okay. So we haven't figured that out.
Yeah. We've got Invincible Sun for Dawning Joy's, the bride's family.
Mm-hmm.
But the groom's family, what do we want as their name?
Mm-hmm. The Sons of the Emperor or something like that. I'm not sure.
I like that.
Some fun twist on that.
Let's say
It should be some mentioning to a previous dynasty,
okay.
which is not in power. No.
Yeah. Let us call that we'll call them the righteous Tian sect. Like the Tian is the name of the previous dynasty. How does that sound?
Great.
Okay. Righteous Tian sect, Invisible Sun. And so this is one of their strongholds that they were left when the changing of the imperial houses. 1 second. And you're heading out to this. Zhongli, what season is it? Are we in spring, high summer, fall, winter?
I think we're at the turning between spring and summer. So it's not too hot, not too cold. The weather's very temperate. You know, you might get a little bit of rain, but it's not going to be a downpour.
Absolutely.
Basically,
So,
the perfect time of the year for a wedding.
and Li Wu, what are the colors that are associated with the Invincible Sun clan? What colors? I'm sorry, did you catch that, Li Wu? Couldn't hear me?
Ah, sorry, for me?
Yes.
Sorry.
That's okay. And this is the thing is with the
oh.
first start of the session, I'm calling people by their character names. So it takes a second to catch.
Yeah, clearly yellow is dominant. And I like to think gold and silver would be nice. I don't know if they've got the means to the financial means to put it on everything, but gold and silver is good.
Certainly here, they're going to be displaying that wealth as much as they can. So it's going to be on everything. Stunning Thunder. What is it like being back here in this place? You're on a boat. It's one of these guest vessels. It's bringing a number of guests that's heading out to the island. It's decorated in the colors of Invincible Sun. What is it like being back here where the ferry went down, where the ship that you are blamed for sunk?
Obviously, there's anger coming up in me. So the camera shows me from behind, and I clutch my fist, standing on the railing, looking to the ocean.
Now, let me ask you, you're going to this wedding. Are you trying to, I mean, in these movies, in these shows, as we know, simply having a hat on is enough of a disguise that no one can recognize you. So are you disguised, or are you very openly going as Stunning Thunder?
I'm in disguise.
Okay.
Because
So,
I obviously the two houses who marry, they don't like me, but I also expect my family who cast me out there, and everyone despises me, so I have to come in disguise.
so
Probably just if it makes sense, just a veil over the face. You know?
I like that. And Wu Wei, you are headed to this wedding. Why do you think you're going? Are you going there to see Zhang Li, or to confront Dawning Joy? What do you think? Like, or are you uncertain about why
I rationalize it. I want to demonstrate the importance of letting it go, but of course it's total bullshit.
Yeah. So Wu Wei, you're kind of moved to the back of the boat. There are terms for the front and the backs of boats. I don't know them. So you're going to the back of the boat, and you will see a figure. And I think you have met them before. You know them. You see Stunning Thunder. Has a hat on, so most people aren't recognizing him, but you're a fellow wuxia hero. How do you feel about that?
Who I know that he's the brother of my friend, Onyx Viper.
Absolutely, and you're
Okay.
yeah, you do
Okay.
definitely know that.
Okay.
But you're not sure if Stunning Thunder knows that Onyx Viper is a thief.
Okay. So only my feelings?
Yeah, like you see him.
Okay.
I mean, would you go and
Okay.
approach, or
Yes, I definitely want to approach, but not directly, politely. And I feel that his sister is like a daughter to me, a best friend and a daughter, but he is different. Is he a prodigal son or not?
I think you certainly would have heard the rumors and the stories that he sank a boat full of innocents here just
Yeah,
to
those are the stories. Yeah.
just to forward his schemes. Stunning Thunder, I don't think you have any direct connection, but you would have met Wu Wei before, right? So you'll see Wu Wei, who you kind of knows your sister, approaching, and he has that, I assume, that look on his face that you get when people have heard stories about you, but they're approach. How what are you feeling when that happens?
Well, I go to greet him because finally there's someone worth talking to.
Let's hear it.
How would I talk to you? Would I call you master? Is that appropriate?
Yeah, maybe you know that I was a master. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Master Wang, what brings you to this joyful occasion?
Oh, if I am a master, then you are a murderer. But I'm not a master. Are you a killer?
Let me think about it. I'm almost getting like in a conflict here.
I actually, I think if you have to pause to think about how you react to that, I think that's definitely inner conflict. So go ahead and you get to mark XP. You get 1 point for when we go to inner conflict. And what do you want to roll to kind of keep yourself together here?
Caution. So it's Earth.
Okay, let's have you roll with Earth.
So I am combining both rolls and adding 1, so it's a 7.
It's a 7. So you have a choice. You can mark your Earth and keep yourself together here and continue the conversation, or you can kind of show that you're affected by this and move away.
I think I'll mark Earth.
Okay.
And keep it together.
Okay.
And you can tell, because you're so close through the veil under the hat, that I'm stopping for a moment and well, I will continue to call you master then.
Interesting.
I'm a master of myself. I resign.
So you're just traveling around then?
Yes. Just like the river flows and the wind blows.
But sometimes, you know, the wind is too, how to put it? The wind is too powerful, and suddenly there's no wind at all.
And I think as you say that, the breeze probably kicks up onto the sails. We see a couple of other ships kind of moving close by. It catches the noise there. Your veil flaps in the wind. I'm going to cut from there. Li Wu, I know why Zhang Li ended up being late to this boat to get out to the wedding. I think we can assume that there was a bar bill and some skipping out and things like that. That's why she, and we'll come back to her story in a second, but Li Wu, why are you late? Did something happen, or did you have to get your courage up to come to this? What do you think it is?
Yesterday, I was dressed as a commoner, and when I tried to get on the boat, they just wouldn't let me.
Yes.
So it's a wedding, so I had to go into the city and fetch some new clothes. I bought me some new clothes, but then the eyes were on me. So I had to wait until this group of malignant persons from the Invisible sect, Invisible Sun sect, I had to wait until they fell off too much eating and drinking. And then I could get on the ferry, on the boat.
Yeah, you're on a smaller ferry that's kind of catching up with the last of the stragglers. You've just gotten on the boat. Things are moving along. Zhang Li, when Li Wu sees you on this boat, what does he see? Like, how are you acting? How are you dressed? What is it on camera?
Well, I'm headed to a wedding. Of course, I'm wearing my best finery. And I may seem, has the boat just left the dock?
Yes.
I see. I'm perhaps slightly out of breath. Perhaps my cheeks are slightly flushed. And there may be someone running up to the dock.
You get back here. Get back here. Like
But
that?
otherwise, everything is absolutely normal. It's calm. Everything is perfectly fine. There's absolutely nothing to worry about. These misunderstandings often occur. There is some question at times about who has agreed to pay the bill or who it was implied should pay the bill. And if others misunderstand, well, their obligations or my implications or suggestions, that's clearly not my fault.
I like that. And you know Zhang Li, you know Li Wu, you've crossed paths with them before.
A couple of occasions,
yeah.
Yes.
And they're certainly the most interesting person on this boat. So what do you do when you see them?
Li Wu, it's so good to see a friendly face. Here, join me. And I'll produce a flask from inside my robes, and I'm asking you to come drink with me.
I wouldn't you, my lady, I'm not of your, we're not the same class.
It's quite all right. Silly things such as social class, one need not concern themselves with such trifles.
Okay, I have very timid smile on my face right now and approach you like you're a tiger. I'm
And-
very clumsy in my movements, very rigid. That's not like me.
I will kind of take your arm and lead you to a less crowded part of the boat. Say, come now, here, try this rice wine. I recently found it at a nearby inn. It's quite exquisite.
Ooh, how are you
Yeah.
feeling? This figure that you have a certain degree of pining affection for has just taken your arm and is settling you down and offering you a drink. What are you feeling?
I'm getting now warm inside, and the water suppleness of my moves are coming back. So I am comfortable, I am warm, and I'm also much more assured that I was before, but I'm letting something slip of my disguise and my style. And of course, I can take a drink. I've been I'm from her class, so
Yeah.
I feel reassured.
And the two of you, as you sit there, you'll look up, you'll see that your boat is kind of coming in. There's a narrow strait that you see there is a larger boat, the last boat for the Invincible Sun that left, that has people on it, and you'll see that it kind of gets narrow, and you'll see that another boat has kind of moved up beside it, and your boat's little boat's captain is kind of working the sail to kind of see if they can get around or bring themselves to a stop, because the two boats are kind of blocking the way right this second. And I'm going to cut from that back up to Wu Wei, Stunning Thunder. There is kind of a thunk as you hear this other boat kind of hit up against yours as you get to this narrow pass. But then you'll hear a very familiar sound to you, Stunning Thunder. You hear the sound of chains and hooks. And you will see these grappling hooks come from that other boat, grab onto your boat, and you will see a group of river pirates start swarming onto the deck. You see a group of troops that are kind of leaping over and starting to run down the deck, a couple of groups of troops, and you'll see two figures kind of following up, clearly the captain of this pirate vessel and his second in command, and she has those claws, big tiger claws on the back of her hands, and she's leaping and she's cutting into the sail of your boat. There may be even more people on the pirate vessel, but that's who you see right now. Stunning Thunder, what do you do?
I think I look to Wei Wang and ask, so, are you still able to fight then after such a long time of wandering around?
You want to fight when both friends are arriving? What's going on?
And obviously, I'm going to attack the second in command.
Okay. So Stunning Thunder, we'll see you start to move down the deck, rushes away. You see Stunning Thunder rush away from you, kind of leaps over these groups of pirates that are starting to grab up the guests, these troops that are grabbing the guests, and Stunning Thunder leaps and lands by this woman pirate with these claws that is cutting into your sails. What do you do, Wu Wei?
I shout, why are we fighting when we can drink together? And maybe try to, not necessarily how to say, to convince them, but to maybe shock them a bit or disturb what they do.
You could certainly shout and get the attention of the pirates, a troop of pirates that are closest to you, who
And I
will
definitely want to hello someone or maybe even hug them if it's okay, or is it polite? So welcome them as old friends, even if I don't know them at all.
I think we're going to come back to that. Essentially, we're going to come back to you kind of like shocking and shaking up this group of troops, trying to stop them from this fighting. Li Wu, Zhang Li, you are on this boat and you will witness, looking up, because the boats are taller than your small boat, and you will see those grapples go across, and you will see these pirates rush from one boat over onto the other. And you'll hear the sounds of clashing, and you'll probably see some people go flying off the side of the boat. What do you do, Li Wu?
At first, I don't do much because there are some ordinary folks,
witnesses
on our little boat that strike for us. When I was in town yesterday, I was hushing with some of them. One has got big, long mustache, straight mustache like this.
Mm-hmm.
Another one is much is sturdy, and so they sort of give orders, and they unsheath sabers.
So are you activating your shadow boxing to send them up? Okay.
Yes.
What do you want to roll shadow boxing with? Which of your elements do you think is appropriate to roll here?
Because of the taste of the flashback, I think metal or maybe earth.
I like earth. Earth represents a certain amount of caution.
Yeah. Earth could be okay. Yeah.
So roll 2d6 and add nothing.
Where do I roll?
Okay. I will put the link here in the chat for you.
Okay, thank you.
And there is a button at the top that you can just, after you've gotten in, you can just hit the 2d6 button.
Thank you. As you can see, I'm not on my computer. It's
Sure.
one from the sect.
Oh,
so,
sorry.
2d6, it is
An
plus
8.
0.
So I think that we will see them head like grab onto some of the ropes that are dangling down and head up, but they're kind of having a hard time getting up onto this other vessel, but they are moving up to try and defend the people on that ship. And they're also moving themselves so they kind of block so that the normal witnesses that are here can't quite see what you're going to do. But Zhang Li, what do you do when you see this?
River pirates, how exciting! And I'm going to use this slender bamboo staff that I have in my possession to pole vault onto the deck of the pirate ship.
I think that that is no problem. That is a standard lightness feat you can vault up on to the deck of the ship, you will see a pirate captain. You'll see another group of troops that is fighting with the people on board. You'll see that Stunning Thunder. Oh my God, there's Stunning Thunder. Has engaged with this second in command, and then you see Wu Wei hugging one of the pirates.
Well, my face darkens somewhat when I see Stunning Thunder, because I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Stunning Thunder.
True.
But I'd like to study the captain.
Okay. Let's have you make a study roll for me. What do you want to roll that with?
Let's say water
Okay.
for awareness and wisdom.
Absolutely.
That's a +1.
Oh, look at that.
Boxcars out of the gate.
Right out of the gate. You're never going to have that happen again.
Come on.
So
Why are you
have,
jinxing me like that?
that is my job. So you have 2 hold.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want to spend that on?
I want to know what the pirate scale is.
This
The pirate
captain,
captains.
you see him move, you watch him move, and he moves like a panther. He sinewy muscles. He's got scars on him. The way he stands, the way he walks, you know that this is someone of a superior scale. Taking him on just by yourself without setting something up is a death sentence.
Okay.
And you have 1 more hold.
I'd like to reveal a detail.
Okay. What do you want to set up here?
Because of the raiding and the fighting, this pirate captain has not noticed a coiled length of rope that he has put his foot in.
Okay. So right now he is kind of set up for a distraction on the following action. You've kind of gotten yourself in position so you can see that, and hopefully you will have the chance to do that. Stunning Thunder. You have leapt up to engage the second in command. She turns and faces you. You're clearly a wuxia. She recognizes that, and then she says, "Oh, Stunning Thunder, the competition." Shing raises up those claws and goes to fight you.
Yeah, and I say, you wish.
Oh, are you going to fight her?
Yeah, I'll try to wrap my meteor hammer around her so she's immobilized.
Okay. So she is, unlike the captain, on your scale. So what is your style element?
Fire.
Fire. So go ahead and roll with fire.
So basically, well, probably I should roll first before I
Yeah,
describe
then
it.
we'll kind of work out the back and forth here.
That's a 12.
That is a 12. So she comes in fast. She kind of rips through the sail in front of you, and she's swinging at you. Like, how do you first push her back with those claws? Like, how do you use your hammer to get her back a little bit?
So basically, I imagine not throwing the hammer at her, but rather towards the sails.
Okay.
So basically, there's something coming her way and stopping her in the way.
Catches the claws on that, kind of get her at a disadvantage. How is it that, I mean, because with that roll, you are able to easily drop her. What does that look like? Like, how do you strike to bring her down?
So for a moment, she's distracted with all the stuff coming her way, and As I'm using fire, I swiftly wrap my meteor hammer around her feet, and that causes her to stumble. And then she dangles for a moment, and with a swift thrust, I'll pull it back, and she falls down into
Okay.
the water.
All right. So you are kind of showing mercy, letting her get away into the water. So if she drops over, you can mark XP because you didn't move her killing stroke there, or try to capture her. Wu Wei, you, Master, you're a paragon of calm and thoughtfulness. What do you want to roll to cool the tempers, to make these pirates sort of hesitate in what they're doing?
Mhm. I think I'm haughty here, so I try to roll with fire.
Okay. Let us
So
have
that's
you roll.
that's -1.
Oof. Okay.
Can you see the roll?
Yes, it is still an 8.
Oh,
Uh,
what does it mean?
so you go to hug them, like you go to grab and
Yeah.
what are you saying to them?
Why do you oppose me if we are not enemies? Let's just value life together and nurture our true self.
And I think they are stunned by this. This is not at all what they expected, and I think they're kind of like, like the group of like 6 of them there that kind of stop and are like, okay, what do I don't want to fight is this a holy man? I don't want to fight a holy man. Like, and so while they haven't given up their violent intent completely, they have definitely hesitated. You will see also a group of, not of the pirates, but some other people come up over the side of the boat, and start moving like to fight the pirates, not down the ship. It looks like some help has come from another little boat. Which brings us to Li Wu. Your associates have gone up. What do you want to do? And Zhang Li has leapt pole vaulted up there right into the heart of danger.
Do I see Zhang Li or not yet?
Oh yes, actually I think Wu Wei, you would have seen Zhang Li leap up on the deck as well. Thank you.
Okay.
I've got this intent to stay hidden as long as I can. So my next move would be, if the chains are still between our 2 boats, to unlock some of them, to discreetly, silently passing like a thief.
Yeah.
Making them jump choop, 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 one by one. So in the hope of the pirates looking back on their ship going away.
I think that's perfect. So we're going to use the overcome move to do this. On a 10 plus, you'll be able to get these chains off and the boats will start to drift apart. On a 7 to 9, there might be a cost for doing that. We'll talk about that. What do you want to roll that with?
I've got a cost right there, but I need to roll first. So,
and you're rolling with what?
Curiosity could be nice. That's wood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roll with a +1.
Curiosity. Yeah. That's because I'm, a bit sneaky, light in this action. So finding the tab. I can roll 2d6 +1. 6 +1. How does it go?
So that is an 8.
Wow.
So here is my offer to you. You'll be able to do that. Get these chains unhooked, but one of the PCs will see you doing it. Who are you good with that?
I was prepared for more. I was prepared that one PC could see me, then notice something about the way I use my sword, say, to unlock the hooks.
Well, who is it that's going to see you?
I want it to be Zhang Li.
Okay, so you're kind of watching this pirate captain, and you see Li Wu kind of move along quietly and with the sword with a shocking precision, moves along and clips these chains. Zhang Li, what do you do?
Well, we all contain multitudes.
Fair enough. Yeah.
I'll make a note of that for the future. I mean,
hang on one second. Stunning Thunder?
Just one more thing to support Zhang Li. Since I've rolled so well, I'd like to shift the fiction slightly, if that's
Okay,
allowed.
sure.
So the pirate captain's now focusing on me after defeating his second in command.
Yeah, his
which
eyes
might,
are, he's enraged. He's staring at you. He's not paying attention to anything else. Zhang Li.
so what I would like to do is vault forward, grab the other end of the rope that this pirate captain is currently standing in.
Mm-hmm.
And just because this is, of course, wuxia, that if I roll well enough, my intent is that this rope will go over one of the masts and pull him upward and off his feet and render him unable to fight.
Well,
Depending on how well I roll.
Yeah, probably won't be able to do that, but you'll at least be able to get him off balance.
Okay, fair enough.
And reduce his scale with this. This is overcome. What do you want to roll that with?
Oh, let's see. I think this is with fire, because this is kind of a creative thing to do.
I like it.
Okay. Just a hit.
That
7.
is a 7 to 9. So I think that you will be able to do that, to kind of leap up and pull that. And he does go up, like he's lifted up by that rope, but I think you see him swing and he cuts the line and kind of lands. It keeps him off balance, but he is not dangling from the yard arm. And I think that you kind of landed on the deck of the ship. There are some other troops there, and I think that they move to surround you. Like before you can kind of get yourself back into position, you are surrounded by these troops. Does that seem like a fair cost?
Fair enough.
That brings us back to Stunning Thunder. Zhang Li is surrounded by troops, but you have an opening on this pirate captain.
And I obviously the camera zooms in on my face and it sees me sigh. And I'm going to help Zhang Li get out of this mess. Because she owes me and she's useful to me.
Okay. So are you going to deal with troops then?
Yeah.
Okay. You leap over onto the other boat as it's kind of drifting apart?
I think so. And I try to swing my hammer and attack several of them at once.
Perfect. Roll with your style element.
Okay. So that's a 10.
Oh yeah. So tell me what that looks like. Like you tear through them. You absolutely they are unprepared for your assault. So what does that look like?
So basically, since we're in wuxia, I tell Zhang Li to jump up. In other fiction, maybe just duck, but that might be more appropriate. So I imagine her, and feel free to elaborate on that pocket, jumping up, and everyone is confused looking at her, and then they get hit one by one by this long rope with a weight on the end. And,
Absolutely. Tuk, tuk, tuk. The camera follows it around as they are all knocked backwards, fly down to the deck. Wu Wei. So you've seen this. You see Zhang Li leap over. You see the boats drifting apart. You see Stunning Thunder leaps over there. And the pirates who you kind of distracted, they look back and they're like, oh my gosh. And they start running to leap back to their boat because they realize if they don't get back there now, they're going to be in trouble. What do you want to do?
As I see Zhang Li, I change my mind and I say, oh, I thought it will be a beginning of a beautiful friendship. But I am an arrow shot out to the other side by desire. And I try to attack them.
Okay. Roll deal with troops.
And I want to use, of
You
course,
always
I'm
use your
using
style element.
water. Yeah. Oh, it's very bad.
Okay, so
7.
that's a 7. So that's
Okay.
You will knock them down, you will take them out, but you don't look awesome doing it. It's not as awesome. To describe what it looks like though, you do take out these 6 guys. What does that look like?
Okay, first with the broad motion, I whip around with my polearm with one hand, leaning backwards, almost hitting the ground with my hair.
Oh,
but
nice.
At the beginning, it looks very nice, but then it stuck into someone and I fall to the ground and I shout out angrily like, "Wah!" and then just pushing everyone into the water.
Shove them, they'll go flying over the side. They cry out and you kind of find yourself at the railing there. You haven't quite made it over.
But my special ability is just to jump there. Just bam.
Oh, that's right. You've got the So you will. What does that look like? Like this is a superior movement. So what do we see? Do you jump off of the sail or do you just leap over? What is it?
Maybe there's a huge wave hitting the deck and I just maybe disappear in the water. So maybe I have fallen into the water or something like that. Nobody can see.
Okay, you've vanished there. Li Wu, your plan has succeeded. You have the boats are separating, but a Stunning Thunder and Zhang Li are on the boat that is pulling away, and you don't see where Wu Wei went. What do you do?
Well, I was under the impression that there was another smaller boat.
Yeah, that's the one you're on that you were riding in on. Yes.
Okay, there's no 3 boats, just 2, right?
There's the big boat and the pirate boat, and then the little boat that you were on. So there are 3 boats.
Okay, right. Now I see. So I'll have to jump to catch up with Zhang Li and Master Wei, probably.
I think this is another roll of overcome, because you've kind of set it up that you've gotten them apart, and the ships are drifting. What do you want to roll that with?
Nothing went as planned.
No.
So,
well, but you have saved the boat.
In a way. I want to you know, there's a little roof on our boat
Mhm.
to just to protect from the sun and the rain. And so I want to step on the side of the deck, then on the roof of our boat, then maybe use the mast, you call it a mast,
Uh-huh.
to propel me the farthest I can. But I guess it's not going to be very awesome looking. This is using creativity and speed.
Okay. So roll with fire.
I just wanted to hear you say this, roll with fire.
Yes.
That's so nice. So a modifier of 1. No, plus. And the name is jump. The boat. Oh, there's no dice in my roll. Okay, I went. So I'll go like this. Does it work?
There you go.
That's it, yeah.
So I think that you go jump onto that, swing up onto this, and then use that kind of lean back and use that to far and fly up. And I think you'll kind of grab onto the side of the ship and pull yourself up. But I do think it is tough. You get up onto deck, but I'm going to have you mark fire. So put an X in that box by that as you kind of land there. Yeah, hit that side hard.
The rib cage, yeah.
Yeah, right. Zhang Li, out of nowhere, stunning thunder came and dispatched these troops. Li Wu, you see him fling himself desperately up onto the boat to clearly wanting to help out. And you don't see Wu Wei. What are you doing, Zhang Li?
I'm going to use my pole to vault near the captain,
Okay.
the pirate captain, reach into my robes and pull out the flask of rice wine that I was sharing with Li Wu on the smaller boat and say, please, there must be a more enjoyable way for us to resolve this. And I'm rolling for hearts and minds.
Okay, that seems like Hearts and Minds. He is not entirely vulnerable to your thing, but I think it is a good way to lower his scale potentially here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking he's now seen what, a dozen or so of his pirates get thrown off the boat or in another way basically disabled, so they're out of commission. So
what do you want to roll that with?
I'm thinking fire again.
Okay.
This is a creative solution to the problem. That's a 10.
So I think you have his attention. He's not, I mean, people have invaded his ship. And his plans have been foiled. So he's still angry, but I think his attention is on you. And again, you have come drink with me. So I think that there is that kind of back and forth as you circle one another.
Are we still in a violent situation?
Yes.
Then come drink with me doesn't apply.
Yeah, but I'm saying
Okay.
you have that move, and I think that's kind of what is occurring here in its own particular way. With you having the drink out, offering it to him, he's getting maybe a little bit angrier here about the situation. Stunning thunder. What do you want to do?
So his scale is lowered by now?
An action has been taken to reduce his scale. Whether that puts you on his scale or not is an open question right now. I will say it probably takes two of you to lower his scale to a place where people could take him on.
Yeah, but that's only relevant for duels or for every move that affects him.
It's relevant for fighting.
Okay.
If there's something else you want to do that is sort of a non-fighting thing, like the hearts and minds and stuff, that's a different issue.
Yeah, I think I'll do that. I'd rather approach him, and obviously I imagine there's some fighting going on in the background with other people on the ship and the pirates that are remaining and our allies. And while Zhang Li is talking to him, I step up to them, and I want to use hearts and minds.
Okay. Are you trading on your reputation?
Yeah.
Then you have a +1 in addition to your element that you roll.
And I'm not sure whether I recognize him, if that's of any importance, but I say, do you know who you're fighting with?
Let's have you roll.
Okay, and do I add a stat as well?
Yeah. But do you want to, what stat do you think is appropriate here?
Let's see. I think it's metal.
Yeah. Feels like control. So you're rolling with a total of +2.
That's a 6.
Do you want to, now here is the thing, the way we can fix things is, do
Yes.
you want to burn one of your bonds to get that to a 7?
Let's see, but I don't have a bond with any one of those two involved at the scene.
You'd add whatever, to give yourself, you can always burn any bond you want. You just-
Okay, any bond. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. Which one are you burning?
I think I'll burn the one with Li Wufang.
Okay. And I think there's a bit where he looks at the two of you. It looks at Zhang Li, looks at you, and Wu Wei. Like, how do you appear on the deck?
I think a smaller wave sweeps over the deck, and I just stand there soaked.
Like, and the wave goes past, and then suddenly you're there. No one saw it. Just, I mean, did he? And I think that this pirate captain stops and goes, I did not know that vessel was your prize to take, Stunning Thunder.
Well, if you don't want your ship to sink, you better get going.
Please feel free to take one of the side boats. And I apologize to you and your companions for disrupting your journey. And at this point, he'll reach out and take that cup of wine from you, Zhang.
Can I create a bond with him?
Oh yeah, that seems fair. That seems
Okay.
fair. Yeah. And he will look and he will shout to his crew, stand down, bring the sails down, let the vessel go. Prepare a launch for these guests. And Wu Wei, you kind of get yourself up. Wu Wei is staying there, and they will prepare a small boat for you four to gather on. Wu Wei.
Yeah. Where is Zhang Li? I'm not sure about that.
Oh, she's standing by the pirate captain. She's handed the
Okay.
pirate captain a cup of wine.
Can I just make a move?
Sure. What do you want to do?
I want to look perplexed and vulnerable as I stare at Zhang Li, but maybe my old wrinkled skin shines like crystalline. I want to have an inner conflict, basically, as I don't know what to do with being there.
Absolutely. Like you're there. Other people have kind of stepped in. You hope to be the one, and then yeah. What do you want to roll that with?
That's a good question. I want to stay wise and save my face. So
Okay.
maybe water.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's so bad.
So that is a 6.
Yeah.
So now you could burn a bond to get that to a 7.
What does 6 mean here?
What does a 6 mean here?
The GM makes things much worse.
Yes.
Oh, I like that.
Excuse me?
Yes.
Is there a way to help a player out of such a result?
Well, how would you tell me how you would help them? Because we do have a comfort and support if you want to help Wu Wei like hold themselves together. But how would you do that?
Like if I can see your emotions, maybe I can chime in and simply reveal myself to you
I like that.
and say, but I like to do that.
Yeah. What do you want to roll that with to catch his attention and support him?
I think that's with what element?
Yeah. What element do you want to roll with?
Is there sincerity? No, simply water.
Yeah.
Wisdom.
A certain amount of wisdom. Yeah. Let's have you roll.
Getting there.
Oh, yeah. So essentially the comfort and support is you create a bond and burn that bond with them. A Wu Wei that'll take you to a 7 as you see Li Wu step up, presents themselves like a centered.
And I'm like your disciple, you didn't even know.
Yeah. Oh, what a pleasant surprise. And I try to focus at him.
Okay. So Wu Wei, you can either flee the situation then or mark an element.
I think I'm gonna mark water.
Okay.
I cannot. Yeah.
And then because of Ashes of Time, you get to create a bond, and you can play it with Li Wu or Zhang Li.
Yeah. I want to do it with, of course, with Li Wu Fang.
Okay. Yeah. Write that in. And so the pirate captain keeps his distance. He keeps his eyes watching Stunning Thunder as the 4 of you gather. He has the boat lowered, doesn't try anything. He's just glad to have all of you off his ship. His other people are like fishing for the various pirates that got thrown off into the water. And I think then we'll see the 4 of you on this shared small boat, catching the breeze and kind of following in the wake of this larger boat heading in, and you're heading towards the wedding. Does that seem fair?
I would just like to kind of wave in a very friendly way to the pirates.
Some of them wave back before they kind of stop themselves and realize what they're doing. And like what's your attitude, Wu Wei, now that you're on this boat with Stunning Thunder, with Zhangli, and this person who kind of has called you out from your past? Like, do you feel a little more settled, Wu Wei, or still nervous?
Still nervous, and I try to not look at Zhang Li.
And I think Stunning Thunder, you're probably the person with the most experience as a sailor. So you're the one probably managing the boat as you sail up to the island where this wedding is happening. I think the camera will pan up and we will see on the docks are some members of the different sects. We will definitely see Dawning Joy there standing and waiting, as well as Onyx Viper and some others as the four of you approach. And that is where we're going to stop for today. That's that. We're going to start right out next time with your arrival at the docks, the wedding, and take up from there. Does that sound cool? Yeah. All of you will get an advance between now and next session. You can use that to take a move from your playbook, take a move from another playbook, or if you want to, you can also raise one of your elements by one. So that's the advance. If you don't mind, I'd like to do a quick stars and wishes. Stars being things that you dug, you like particularly, and wishes being like, this is what I really want to see next time. Puckett, can I start with you on that?
Do you want to do stars and wishes at the same time, or do you want to come?
Yeah, usually
Okay.
do it together.
So stars to everybody. This was a really fun, collaborative first session. I really appreciate folks like working, especially with the entanglements and sorting out the relationships. Matt, I really loved how you played Wu Wei almost like a lovesick puppy. Like, I want to try to impress, but then it goes wrong. And it's like, oh God, that is such a relatable thing. Michael, thank you so much for playing Stunning Thunder the way you did. Like, just this kind of heroic action scenes that you were coming up with when you were dispatching the troops. And then especially when you kind of played the heavy with the pirate captain. You seriously want to try to take the boat that I'm on? Like, dude, do you know who I am? Seriously? And then Nicholas, I liked the way that you were trying to play Li Wufang as with subtlety, trying to keep the identity concealed, and yet still saying, okay, fine, let's go ahead and drink. That's of course the best thing to do in this situation. Stars, or excuse me, wishes. I want to see everything go to hell. I want to see things get messy.
Okay.
Maybe even invite the pirates back for the wedding.
Interesting. Okay, see things go to hell. I've written that down as a wish. Yeah. Perfect. Matt.
I quite enjoyed the first discussion with Stunning Thunder. I think it was nice. And yeah, that's for stars. Wishes. Yeah, I want Wu Wei to be challenged. Is he true to his values or not? And also, I would like more more quick responses, or how to say it. Yeah. Smaller interjections. Sometimes I felt that I want to act or intercept, but I just didn't feel that I should step in.
Okay, I think that's fair. And I'll try to be better about that, keeping an eye out and giving you the chance to jump in on things. I think that's a fair thing to say. Sometimes I get moving way too fast. And that's a bad habit of mine. So I appreciate you calling me and mentioning that. So I'll try to be better and more aware about that next time.
Great, thanks.
Nicholas?
My stars, I'm realizing now that the way I feel toward the session is also the way I feel toward characters. So I must be a bit in character still. I don't I can't unstick from my character totally. I was very impressed by Matt's use of dialogues. It's also a wish, but I make it a star. I think your dialogues, Matt, they are really shining. That is, you're you're doing it obliquely all right.
Thank you.
Talking obliquely, that's a thing I can narrate, but the way you did the dialogues, it stunned me. With Puckett's and Michael's character, I've got attraction, repulsion, but we're just playing along, you know. So I won't say more than that. I'm still too stuck to my character. My wish is for a wooden structure to collapse, to crumble down. You know, for weddings, they do these quickly put up structures.
Yeah, pavilion, a temporary pavilion. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that I wanted to crumble down, and that's to say that's to be some. I wanted to say something like Puckett, like to throw ourselves hard to everything, but the wooden structure, the pavilion crumbling down is what I really like.
Awesome. And Michael?
So I am giving stars to the whole party because it was really interesting to see each player character interact, and we're really different, but we're also working together, and I like that. And I really liked how you portrayed your characters, and something I wasn't aware of, but now looking at it is the side comments in the off. That's also quite interesting and entertaining. And I'll try to engage with that more. So that's a wish for myself. And yeah, I really liked how you pulled everything together, Lowell. So that's a big star because it's always a challenge and creative achievement to do that well. But I really liked the starting scene, and that you picked a good cutting point, because going to the docks now, and so I think that would be not satisfying to start and then do it after to end after 10 minutes or 15. And yeah, for wishes, I'd say nobody marked PC betrayal on the veils, lines and veils. So that's something I'll keep in mind. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
And obviously, I think there's at least two people in love or kind of having affection for the bride. So that's going to be interesting. Yeah, and if you don't mind, just going to hell. That'd
Yes.
be really. I'm up for that.
Messy, fast.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you all so much. I had a very good time running this. I'm very much looking forward to next week. I am going to stop the recording.